What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be checking out this 2025 Hyundai Elantra N. We've had this for the week. I've had quite a lot of fun actually zipping around town with it. This one is $36,600, finished off in the intense blue color, and we even have the dual clutch transmission. We have filmed two different manuals if you want to check those ones out on our channel. But for today's video, let's see what this car has to offer. If you're looking for something that's actually affordable and fun, is this the ultimate bargain for a budget sporty sedan? Honestly, this car has a lot to go for it. So popping the hood, you're going to find this 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbo engine with 276 horsepower and 289 pound-feet of torque. We are front-wheel drive, limited slip differential, and with the automatic transmission, you're looking at 0 to 60 in about 4.8 seconds. With that, curb weight's going to be around 3,300 pounds, has a 12.4 gallon fuel tank, and you can expect 20 in the city with 27 out on the highway. Got your black Hyundai badge, and then I like this trim piece in the upper portion that kind of blends into the daytime running lights. We have a nice dark housing on the headlights that matches the upper grille, and badge over there, and then tons of opening to provide cooling. Massive intercooler back here, and then I really like the red trim all throughout it. You're going to get forward-facing parking sensors, gloss black trim, and functional cutouts to allow some air to pass through the bumper. You definitely have a pretty sharp style overall. I like how aggressive this car looks over even the N line, or of course the standard Hyundai Elantra. So it's got a pretty cool road presence, especially being on a budget. And then you have some sharp body lines throughout the center, just cutting through this hood. At the side profile, these wheels have a nice Y-spoke design with a 19-inch diameter, matte black, and then you have the nice red brake calipers. Got some sharp lines throughout this front fender and logo down below, and then more red trim throughout the aggressive side skirt. I love this sharp style throughout the door panel too within this new generation Elantra. You got black up on the mirror caps with a turn signal, door handles, then all black trim throughout the side windows with a sunroof up above. For the side profile, has a pretty good proportion with more sharp styles all throughout it. This is Hyundai's smallest, economy car, so then they basically tuned it up for the N to give it all the fun performance. So it's a smaller car, but still looks nice, and it's not too small, honestly. You got a gloss black pedestal spoiler mounted on the trunk with some sharp lines to it, and then I like how the LED taillights are super sharp and they connect each other as well. Got all your blackout badging, your N logo, and then more satin black throughout the bumper with all the red trim and a nice set of exhaust tips. You got that dual exhaust, the camera right in the center. It's a really sharp car. I love just how angular it is. It really stands out. For the trunk space, we have a button right here. Pressing that, and then we can lift it the rest of the way up. You're gonna get about 14 cubic feet of cargo volume. You can easily fit a golf bag sideways in here, so no big issue there. So good size. No spare tire, but you're gonna get the inflator kit, and then as you can tell, we have a strut brace back here. So that is all about the chassis in this car, keeping it stiff. And then to go ahead and lower the seat, we pull both of those, and then it's just one big backrest that will fold forwards. As you can tell with the bar here, it's gonna kind of hinder some longer items if you're using this. So, just kind of gotta be mindful of that. But overall, flat folding seats roughly, you have a little bit of a bump. So it's still practical, but of course this is for a performance tuned suspension. So obviously, Hyundai has done some cool additions, but not too bad for cargo space overall. For the interior, you're gonna get a couple bits of hard plastic, but we have alcantara and leather throughout it. So we have the nice leather type material on the seats with the blue stitching, and I like the alcantara. Now there's no real amenities. You don't have an armrest or anything in the center, no air vents, no cargo nets or anything like that. But we get 2 USB ports right in the center. So at 5'11" sitting here, I actually have a lot of space behind my driver's seat. I have about 1 inch of headroom. The seats are comfortable enough, pretty supportive. You can fit a car seat in here, no issue. So for being at a smaller car, this actually is pretty good for a family sedan as well. Moving on to the front seats, you're gonna get a smart key as well, and you can lock and unlock it. You got the N badge, trunk release button, panic, remote start as well. If we go ahead and lock it, you can just keep it in your pocket, and by grabbing the door handle, it'll automatically unlock. Now you're still gonna get some harder plastics on the door, but we have the nice alcantara once again with perforations, a little bit more padding now on the armrest, and then we have all of our basic controls. On the door sill, we even get the N logo with the cool aluminum design. You got aluminum pedals, all manual controls on the seats, and then more of this leather type material with the blue stitching, alcantara, And I love these front seats. They got nice bucket style with the bolsters, single piece backs, nice design throughout the backrest as well. And then hopping inside, foot on the brake, got a cool animation. We can fire it all up. You're gonna get a leather wrapped steering wheel with the perforations on the side, nice set of paddle shifters, 2 different N buttons right here that will change the gauge cluster and change the entire drive mode. We're gonna get some Bluetooth and audio controls on the left, cruise control on the right. The MGS button right here will actually give you extra performance when we're driving, which we'll play with in a second. You have your stock on the right for windshield wipers, turn signals, and headlights on the left. For the center screen, I can scroll up and down on a couple of these screens, see a few different things that are gonna pop up, and then scrolling left and right, you get a few more icons. Drive mode is down here, where you can go through the standard 3 drive modes, Eco, Normal, and Sport. And then of course the N mode gives you the cooler display and everything. Down below we have your interior lighting, traction control, some more hard plastics, and then ambient lighting. And then I like how this whole gauge cluster is kind of like one big bezel screen. It looks pretty cool, and it's actually small, so it fits the interior very well. You have more plastic on the upper dash, a little bit of rubber type material, and then the air vents are kind of connected with a nice ambient strip. Multimedia screen is very similar to what we're used to seeing on any modern Hyundai. You have climate that can pop up, a few more settings you can scroll through, and then under the N mode, you're gonna get a really cool display with more vitals you can monitor throughout the car. Over here, you can see everything that is adjustable in the 2 different drive modes. So you can basically custom set left and right side, which is custom 1 and 2. But the engine, the steering, the limited slip suspension, all this is adjustable in this car, which is really cool for the price point. I mean, there's some more expensive cars that don't have adjustments like that. Going into reverse, you got a pretty good backup camera with parking sensors, and then you have 2 different views as well. We have physical controls down here, which are nice shortcuts to go into radio, media, things like that, all sorts of different shortcuts. So it's super simple overall to use. We even have physical climate controls, dual zone temperature, you can sync them, there's heated seats, all the extra controls. A couple plugs are all down below with your wireless charging, and then the dual clutch is gonna have a nice little shifter with some blue accents. Parking sensors and camera, and then we have this grab handle on the right side. Just some harder plastics once again with this piano black trim, 2 different size cup holders with a manual park and brake, and then we have an armrest with storage. Glove box on the right side has a pretty good amount of space. And then one last look at the interior. It feels very driver focused with everything kind of aiming at the driver. So it's definitely a neat place to be, and especially when you take into consideration the price point of this car. I mean, it's pretty well equipped. Got a manual sunshade, all of those controls, thin mirror, and then one last look at these really nice bucket seats. Can't complain with the interior for the price. Alright, so setting off now in the 2025 Elantra N. Launch control is pretty cool. It does a good job not really just doing a burnout, so pretty fun. You can play with that, of course, adjusting that rev limiter as well as it's doing its launch. Now, if you're in automatic mode in this mode, and then you tap the NGS, that basically puts us into a high rev and lets you just kind of get full boost. It stays really aggressive, as you can tell. And then if we shut that off, it'll of course kind of tone down a little bit. Now, it doesn't necessarily give you more power. It basically just optimizes your gear, gets ready to give you full boost when you floor it. If you are in automatic and you just floor it in general, it'll take a little bit longer to get the full power. So what I've noticed driving this on the highway, if I'm wanting to pass somebody, even if I'm not in the N mode, which is really cool, so just automatic drive, you just press this button, the car is full speed ahead. So really cool. It's kind of like push to pass in some really expensive cars or Formula 1 cars, you know, race cars, things like that. So it's pretty neat to have just that quick little button to give you some extra power. Normal driving, as we are just chilling now in the normal drive modes, it is a little stiffer than the typical Elantra. You can tell the chassis is stiffer and tighter. It's not just a basic economy car. It's a sporty sedan now. And, you know, you can feel bumps. It's not bad. You know, there's nothing that it can't handle. Visibility's all really good. It's easy to see around the car. Huge amounts of glass all throughout it. Left and right shoulder. No complaints at all with blind spots. It's just a nice, comfortable car. Now, these seats, I really like the bucket style. I fit really comfortable in them. They support my legs well. They are stiffer seats, of course, than a standard Elantra. I find them very comfortable. So it's been a nice daily driver, normal car. With the dual clutch being an automatic, you know, this is great for traffic, for day-to-day stuff, for those who have to deal with that sort of driving. You can get a 6-speed manual, which is a lot of fun too. The dual clutch is nice. Normally it is pretty smooth. These few times I've noticed it to be a little clunky are from a standstill, especially maybe if you're going through a yield sign where you're stopping like 5 miles an hour and then kind of rolling that stop. I've noticed it takes a little bit to re-engage the clutches, and sometimes when I'm first starting up, I have to give it a lot more throttle than I'm expecting to let the clutches engage. Kind of feels like my old R35 GTR, just kind of that unrefined slow speed driving. It has that, so you have to work the throttle a little bit more than a typical automatic. Once you get the hang of it, it's not bad, but you will get a couple jerky starts, I've noticed from time to time. But overall normal driving, you know, it is a nice normal daily driver. If you put everything into the N mode, I have the first one set up for everything is in the full mode. So we have these stiffer dampers, the tighter steering, everything is sharper. Of course, going into manual, we have that control. You get a couple little pops from the exhaust, which is a fun touch as well. And the paddle shift response is really quick. It's nice that they put a dual clutch in here rather than like a torque converter. The handling is pretty tight. The brakes work pretty well. I mean, it's been a fun car to just zip around in. Can't really complain. Now, as far as overall acceleration, we'll leave it in manual mode. It's not the fastest car. You know, there's other cars out there that are going to be a bit peppier, but this gets up to speed nicely. It doesn't feel underpowered, but it doesn't feel fast either. It is a very peppy car. It's quick, it gets up to speed, and when you are already rolling, it carries its weight really well to where, you know, it doesn't feel slow. If you're on the back roads, the twisties, you're going to have plenty of power at speed to just keep the momentum going.